Leo Kena. All right. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for this opportunity. I think we want to try something different a little bit with my wife, and we'll be doing follow-up for videos that have a bit of contention. So yesterday I did a video on the Luo short stories. My name is Sir Aloo, and I did a video on the Luo short stories which had the issue around age in relationships and marriage and with it. And I know there are various people who hold different opinions, including my wife. So I think I just want to let her introduce herself.
I'm Crystal Okusa, hello. And I hold a very different opinion from what Steve is saying. I don't agree with the stuff he's saying.
Every stuff or yesterday's stuff?
Yesterday.
Which particular one?
On the fact that it's okay for a woman to be older than a man. I don't agree.
All right. No. So, here, there are various schools of thought. I think one of the things is that why I come out so strongly about the age thing is that it's never about the age, really. When you see a woman who is older than a man, it's never about the age. There are many factors that are to be considered. But I would like to hear the different opinion that maybe Crystal has, why she thinks that a woman should always be younger than a man.
First and foremost is that we are told scientifically women mature faster than men, right? So, and we're being told, so because of maturity, the man is likely to be 7 years younger than his actual age. Okay? So say you and I are the same age. So say, for example, we are 30. That means you're 23 and I am still 30.
Hypothetically.
In terms of thinking.
No, but remember, there are differences in development or in terms of where you're exposed.
They're very rare. Like, they're very rare cases. Like, one in how many? Yeah.
But in the same rarity, there are also quite a number of rare cases about where the woman is older than the man. Yes.
Look. A woman, okay, let me speak for ambitious women, like men that they can be able to like seeing him chasing and you're not at the same pace. When you're chasing, he's also chasing. Like, you can't be, but you see, it only works if the age is different. So if I find you, like, you've already done 1, 2, 3 things, so as you're chasing to do more, I'm also chasing to do more. But I will only admire you if you're ahead of me. But if we are at the same pace, then it feels like we are all, say we've come from university, we're all looking for a job, we're all fighting for the same job.
But at this particular point, it's like, if you take the scenario, forget about the age mates, because sometimes we've had a lot of relationships within the age. Let's talk about this age gap difference. When you look at it from a different perspective, we have to unpack what is in a relationship for us to understand why are the two people together and why is it a problem, especially when a woman is quite older than the man. And the man is, and when the case is the man is the one who is older, we never have an issue with it. So, okay, now unpack what are you looking at when you look at the concept of relationship in that manner.
The first thing is maturity. 1,000 times maturity. Women mature faster than men. If this woman is older, she's always going to be more mature and always feel like the guy is not making same decisions, or he's making mature decisions with regards to maybe their life, their family, his career moves, because the woman also be wondering, what are you doing? Why are you not chasing? Why are you not moving if she's an ambitious woman? Why are you not moving? Why are you not trying to do this? Yet maybe to the man, he thinks he's just fine within his age range, or let's say he's 25 or 26. He's just like, oh, I'm still chasing, I'm trying here, I'm trying there. But a woman who's much older, she's thinking, you need to be doing 1, 2, 3 things, unless she's in that relationship for the social aspect of it. Trying to be very polite about this. The social aspect of it.
There's no politeness on this one. I think, let me talk about something about maturity that you're mentioning. I think maturity is a contextual, it's something that you have to understand from a contextual perspective.
Okay.
What you consider mature for you may not be necessarily what another woman considers mature for them.
Okay.
And then the presentation of maturity on men is also dependent on experience. We have men who are 40, 45 years old, but they still behave like men who are 20-year-olds. That's what I was talking about yesterday. And you'll find people who are 24 years old who have had so much experience in their life that they tend to behave like people who are 50, right? So even if you're looking at it from that maturity perspective, it is not all men, regardless of where they start. There's a difference in terms of how mature they will be with age. And so we cannot be able to put it holistically and say, oh, it's a blanket that the older the man, the more mature they are.
I agree with you. However, I'm also one of those people who tell women, if you meet a man who is 40, never been married, be very wary. And I say it openly because I'm thinking there must be something that is a lot about him that nobody wants to deal with, or he doesn't have space. Maybe it's such a big ego, doesn't have space to accommodate somebody else in his life, because marriage requires also compromise. Don't just be set in your ways. You have to be a bit open. So if you find a 40-year-old man who's nothing, never been married, he's not divorced, he's not nothing, never lived with a woman, that is not a man to get married to. You can date, but just don't get married to the man, because it's a lot of baggage.
Just a disclaimer and a caveat. Not necessarily. There are some people who are not 40, never been married. Maybe they are waiting for that opportunity. Of course, it's a rare thing, yeah? If they're 40, never been married, there's something to think about, ladies. But I think I just want to get us back to the age difference, which is the main thing. And I think I'll give a little bit of a scientific angle to it. And the problem has always been when the man is older than the woman. And let me give an example. Like in one of the most recent studies, it's known as a Kenya Adolescent Health Survey study, we realized that girls tend to have sex much earlier. So, and the person they have sex with, on almost all the cases, the average age difference between them is always 5 years and above. So from a risk factor, it means a girl who has sex at 15 years was likely having it with somebody who's 20. So in that case, and as my friend Tuli always says, and I agree with her absolutely, it's nothing about having sex. That is defilement. Now, move away from that one and you move to the period whereby we're talking about legally obliging ages where you can have sex and freely have a relationship that's above 18 years old. So when you look at it, we've seen ladies dating much older men, right? And in that particular case, it's never been a problem. And in fact, in those cases, the problem, the notion I have is that the problem of the age gap at that particular point is more towards the saying that the girl is going for older men. People don't tend to look at it from the fact that what about if it's the older men going for the younger girls? Now, when it comes to an older girl, now back to you, Crystal. When it comes to a lady who is a bit older, right, having a relationship with a younger man, then it becomes a problem. And from a societal perspective, we've set up some norms that tend to make this lady be the victim more than the man. So my question, I would like to understand beyond the maturity point that you brought up. Why do you think they should not? And viewers, please feel free to comment also, why do you think they should not?
That's what I'm saying. You'll admire somebody. Because I have to believe that most people are likely to be, you want somebody who is equally, you guys could be starting from the same level, but somebody who's equally as ambitious as you are or more ambitious. I just tend to think that when a man is younger, he will not move at the pace that a lady wants him to move in terms of ambition. Okay? So, but when a man is older, he has to achieve a couple of things in his life. Like if you're older in terms of age between the two of you. So even as you push, if you're not an ambitious person, you push him towards to be ambitious, then he has more to achieve, but he's a bit ahead, as opposed to wondering why this guy is not even making any moves in terms of ambition. He needs to be chasing, he needs to be working, he needs to be growing his career. But if he's younger, you just feel like, okay, what are you good for? That's what I was saying. You're good for the social aspect of the relationship. Okay. But
don't you think that you're also arguing from a patriarchal society, coming from a patriarchal society whereby we believe that it's most of the time men are the one who are supposed to have been driving that ambition? It could be the lady also wants to be in that position, and she's rightful. She's right to say that she needs to be in that particular space whereby she's the one driving it. So the traditional role that we've always left for men, saying that the man needs to be older, needs to be thinking faster, needs to be driving the entire relationship forward, or needs to be driving the entire investment. Maybe it's the lady who's doing that already.
No, you're not understanding me. I'm not saying that he needs to be the one who's driving the relationship or driving the investment. He just needs to be driving his life ahead. That's what he needs to do.
But there are men. If you take example of relationships, I can mention relationships that are on public domain that are necessary. They're okay working. Let's take an example of Bahati and the wife. Bahati is younger than the wife, but it's working for them. Whether it is not working, I can see your face. You can see your face. It's working for them.
Yeah. So let me I just don't have a comment because I have an appeal that I cannot. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. the thing is, Steve, do you agree that whatever level you guys start in life, ambition and growing is key?
Ambition and growing is key, no matter whatever the circumstances.
Exactly,
yes.
right? So it doesn't matter what the age is, but level with me here. So somebody has come out of campus 24 years, most of the time, right? Then this lady is, everybody, likely, by the time you're like 30, if God shines light on you, you get a job. By that time, you at least grown a bit in your career, right? But this person is coming from campus is 24, they're just starting out, okay? Women have this tendency to keep pushing the man, again, ambitious women, to keep pushing the man and pushing themselves to do more. So she wants to be someone, I'm sure you've heard women saying, I don't have to be somebody who's necessarily wealthy, but I need to be somebody who's ambitious. I have potential. Having potential is having ambition. Like, you need to know where you're going to. You need to have a plan of where you're going to. But if somebody's 24, it's going to be a hassle of communication, because the lady will be feeling like, why are you moving slowly? You get...
But that's hypothetical, that they're moving slowly.
But they are. In comparison
to people who are older?
No, in comparison to you, at that point, say you're 30 and or 32 and he's like 25, 26, he's moving slowly.
Have you considered that maybe the lady has decided, oh, I've been there, done it with an older person, done it with the same age person, it's not working. Now I just want to have a younger person, and this moves on.
She just wants to be loved. She doesn't care about
it's how far you're growing. It's not about love at that particular point.
She just wants to be loved. I swear. A lady who is ambitious, who doesn't want to, who's okay with a guy who's not doing much, just wants to be loved. That's it. She doesn't. That's wants to be loved. She's not looking for a partnership. She's looking for just love.
No, I'm not gonna here validate about whether the person just wants to be loved or not be loved. But I think as we close up a bit, I think one of the things that I wanna say is that if you're a lady and you feel that, you honestly feel that your relationship, for it to be what you always say you have, yin yang.
Yeah.
Your yin yang situation, it's gonna be with a younger man. Please be proud about it. Get it with that particular younger man, as long as they're above 18. And no one should blame you. And the idea about society trying to always victimize, not to always victimize, but to always make the women to be like the worst people in the relationships. When they're dating older men, it's, oh, she's going for an older man. When they're dating younger men, oh, she's dating a much younger man who is almost the age of the sun. I think it just needs to stop. Whether they go in it for love, some of them have achieved their peak. Some of them have achieved their peak. What are you gonna say about it?
Well, people who know me know I'm very strong about this opinion. I just think when you're getting married, the men need to be older than the women. That's it. Whether it is at least 5 years, whatever, you can make it 4, you can make it 6, but men just need to be older. It just makes, again, I'm speaking from an ambitious point of view, it just makes it easier. Get it? And maturity. Ambition and maturity. It is easier for communication. It is easier for growth. It is easier for direction. That's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with me, but just my opinion.
All right. Sometimes we don't get into relationships for communication. Sometimes we don't even get into it for growth. Because we've achieved our peak of communication, you want somebody you communicate to. And sometimes you
communicate to, not communicate with.
Yes, sometimes, you see, that's why I keep on telling you. In the morning when you're talking with Jackie, I told you very clearly, yeah? Relationships have different goals. There's something I mentioned about duplicity of a relationship. Like, even if you're two. Let's take an example. Crystal has a very close friend known as Jackie. And Jackie's married. And I'm married to Crystal too. So, the moment Jackie wants to use my relationship with Crystal to be able to mirror it to their relationship, it will not work because of something known as a duplicity of the relationship. Because the ladies are different in the two cases, the men are different, the marriage is different. So if you take a 2x2 factor, it tells you like there are various ways that it will be different. So some people don't get into relationships to communicate. At times their communication is simple. If we're being conservative with our choice of words, some just want love. Right? And if that is your goal, girl, have it. Have it.
But do you agree that there are some things are not necessarily about individual relationships, but they're just generally about how we are as women, how we are as men? and how we are as individuals who are young and trying to be leaders of tomorrow.
Well, at this particular point, by the time I'm getting to 50 and I'm marrying somebody who's younger, if I am a lady, by the time I'm getting to 50 and I'm marrying somebody who's younger, then in that particular case, it's just, at that particular point, I have decided. So, I don't think we should be able to put a societal expectation to the woman, while in the real sense, we don't put a societal expectation to the man.
We have.
No, we don't.
But I just mentioned right now, he needs to be chasing more. He needs to be ahead. He needs to be mentally stable enough.
Age-wise.
It will help his mental stability.
Age-wise.
It will help his mental stability. I promise you.
Okay, look at it this way. From an age perspective, we have 60-year-old men. Maybe the wife died. They go on and marry a 30-year-old one. All right, come and say hi to my people. Come and say hi to them. Say hi. Wave hi to them.
Hi.
Good. Now we're talking about something serious, like mommy and daddy serious. So you're gonna shoot.
Okay.
All right. All right. That was a commercial break. A little bit. Shoot.
You want to give mommy's phone to play the game?
All right. Here you go.
I have to open it.
All right. Close it up behind you.
Okay.
Good. So, when you look at this, a 60-year-old man will go back and marry a 24-year-old woman, and we will not have a problem with it. But if we found a 60-year-old widow, like let's take an example. I can mention because it's Wamboi Otieno getting married to a younger man. It was such a big issue in the country, and yet we have what's the name of the Kibor, the old man who always marries a much younger woman every other time. It's not a problem.
Okay. For me, that is a problem as well now. If they're too old, of course that's a problem now. He's now too... You guys cannot...
How old is too old for a relationship between a man and a woman?
I think it depends on the person, what you're willing to take. Because sometimes we're also told that as women, maybe somebody older because they're looking for a father figure. I have no idea. So it depends. Ideally, I think it's not so bad in terms of thinking. Because I've had friends who have... when they're dating older men, they say, the struggle was, we also don't communicate. Because he thinks, I'm young, so I cannot reason with him. So he has already set the way things need to be done. Then that also becomes a problem. But that, I think, should maybe around 12 to 15 years, then becomes a bit of, maybe it's hard now to communicate. Because again, there's also so much generational difference. Yeah.
All right. You see, that's arguing from a generational difference. But if you look at it even in this current age, for example, it can be argued both ways, not just for a man and the woman. So we should argue it both for the man and the woman. It's not just about the woman, the older woman and not necessarily the younger woman. Because if
the one I'm saying is for the man. The man is older.
The man is older
by 12 years, 15 years, now it becomes a problem.
By older more than 12 years, 15 years.
Yeah, it becomes a problem now.
So that can be it can be a problem communicating, also communication and self-choice for the girl. Mm-hmm. But I think in terms of an individual choice to be able to choose whoever they want to date, if we're going to have men to be able to choose particularly that they can date a much younger girl, we should let the same freedom for women. And the fact that we are discussing one woman, because he had a 20-something-year-old man for a whole week, the whole nation, that means that we have a problem as a society. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I think we're going to try and do another breakfast as we review some of the videos that will be coming out every Friday. So if you're not following me on Instagram, please try and do so. My username on Instagram is Sir_Aloo. It's written down here, just down here. Sir_Aloo. Twitter, Sir_Aloo. And then YouTube, Sir_Aloo. And of course on Facebook is Aloo Steven. And for Crystal?
Crystal Okusa, Aloo. No, Crystal Okusa everywhere. Okay?
Yes. And on Facebook, Crystal Okusa, Aloo.
That one is full. That's why I'm saying Crystal Okusa everywhere. There's a page on Facebook, then Instagram and Twitter, Crystal Okusa.
All right. Thank you guys. Have a good day. I think I'm gonna let my music continue. Right?